Hello and welcome to our Financial Literacy Education Series, where we help you get a better understanding about your money, help you become more engaged with your money, and help you make better decisions about your money. My name is Corin Jacker. I'm from Priority One Wealth Management Group. In today's episode, we're going to continue on at our look back at different life stages in terms of our financial decision making. So in the series so far, we've covered off everything from why we need to know about our money, getting good advice if you need it, a really good episode on budgeting and managing your cash flow, which is really important for wealth creation conversations. We look at all the wealth creation strategies. We look at an approach to take in terms of where you actually invest your money, issues around retirement planning, insurances, and estate planning. In terms of life stages, the reason why we're just having a quick recap of this is just to focus on those issues at different stages of life, because at each stage of life, the focus is going to be on slightly different things amongst all those topics that we've covered in the series so far. So in today's episode, we're going to focus on people in their mid-30s to 50. So we're right in the heart of wealth creation mode here. So most people at this stage, we've probably bought a home, so we've probably got a mortgage, we might have children, we might have young children or children on the way. So we need to consider what's required in that kind of environment. So the first thing we look at is our adequate insurance. So if you look back at our episode on insurance, the main takeaway we say with regards to insurance is you need lots of insurance when you've got young kids, lots of debt, not much in the way of other assets. And at that stage, it's relatively cheap to get large amounts of cover. So you need to understand if you have a family and you have debts, the question you ask yourself is if anything happens to you, does those that are left behind have enough assets without insurance? And if not, you need insurance. So we need to consider life insurance, TPD insurance, trauma insurance, and if you haven't already, income protection insurance. Again, for more information, go back and have a look at our episode on insurance cover. The second strategies that we're looking at here in terms of paying off your mortgage, gearing, superannuation, that's all part of that wealth creation conversation. So again, before we look at that, go back and have a look at the episode on cash flow and budgeting. If you do not have a good handle on what's coming in versus what's going out and establishing a certain amount of surplus funds that you don't need to spend, then it's very difficult to have a conversation regarding these wealth creation concepts. So most people at this stage, they've got a mortgage. So that's got to be a consideration. We want to make sure that debt's paid off in a reasonable time frame. What else can we do apart from paying off the mortgage? People in this situation could look at gearing. So if we've got a bit of equity in our home because we've paid off a bit of the mortgage already, we could look at borrowing more money, buying investment property, buying shares. If you've got strong income, secure income, if you've got time frame, if you've got a buffer in case things go wrong. So if you've done all your planning in relation to the good and the bad parts of gearing, and if you look at our episode on gearing, we can go into more information on that, then gearing can be an appropriate strategy for people at this age. Superannuation, particularly in your 30s, still probably not part of the priority. It would probably fall below debt payments and gearing. Main issue there is it's still locked up for a fair period of time. Again, 20s and 30s, I usually encourage people at that stage to still put a little bit extra in. Even if it's $20 a pay, $50 a pay, you probably won't notice it, but it'll make a big difference with compound interest. Make sure it's in a high growth fund still at this stage. Make sure it's in a low cost fund. As you get into your 40s and 50s, then superannuation will become a little bit more important consideration. So to recap, 35 to 50-year-olds, if you need more information, it's getting good insurance if you've got young kids, lots of debt, and not much in the way of other assets. You need to consider the mortgage payment and how that relates to other areas of wealth creation, such as gearing and superannuation and investing in your own name. But before all that, you need to make sure you've got a really good understanding of your cash flow. What's coming in, what's going out, and identifying a good, strong surplus cash flow and taking action to make sure that surplus cash flow is captured. Thank you. Goodbye.